I had an insane experience today at a garage sale that I was hosting garage sales, selling magic cards, some magic cards, bulk magic cards. And it reminded me of the one Whatnot stream that I logged into that had the probably highest profit margin as a percent of any live stream rip and ship I've ever seen dealing with Magic the Gathering. Hi, my name's Nick. I run a company called Capital Catalyst. This is my YouTube channel. And if you enjoy, please subscribe. Trying to get to 500 subscribers. We're getting there, baby. Slow but steady. Anyways, all right, so back into it. Let me actually talk about the live streaming thing first, because this is the thing about if you watch Magic live streams like rip and ships, it's really interesting, and it's also dangerous. I spend money when I watch rip and ships, and I'm not planning on spending money when I watch rip and ships, but it just happens because you see a card and you're like, ooh, that card, I think its market price is $20 and it's only going for 10. I'm going to bid on it. And then you buy it for $10, and then you realize that its market price is $9. And so you just overpaid for a card that you weren't planning on buying anyway because you thought you were getting a great deal. Anyways, it all happens so fast. So watch out. Be careful out there. So what I'm going to explain and talk about is kind of what I've learned watching rip and ships, but I don't necessarily recommend you go watch rip and ships for Magic. Anyways, so watching rip and ships, usually there's kind of two kinds, right? There's the sealed packs, and then there are singles. I've seen a lot of singles rip and ships do well. And I guess they're not even rip and ships at that point. At that point, it's just live auctions for singles. And they do well in the sense that they get a lot of viewers and a lot of people excited, but then everything sells at market or below, and sometimes significantly below market. I've seen $40 cards sell for $26. I've seen $20 cards sell for $12. And it's just fascinating because unless you need the money ASAP, I do not understand why you would go on Whatnot or just do a live stream and sell your singles as opposed to posting them on TCG Player. But I digress. The other way that I've seen, of course, rip and shippers is the actual rip and shipping. But what's more common than just like selling packs and opening them is doing these like box breaks and things like that. And I honestly haven't seen that be very successful. I just haven't. I've seen people offer it. I've seen people on YouTube offer it and so to explain what it is, you might have like a collector booster box, and it's going to be hard to get $400, somebody to spend $400, but maybe you could get 6 people to all spend, whatever, like 50, 60 bucks, 6 people to spend $60, 360, you need them to spend $70. It's like maybe you could do that. And then for $70, you get 2 collector booster packs, and that's like a simple break. So, 6 people each put in $70. You're able to, and that would be making good profit margin and be less than that. My instant math isn't going super well. It's a little late where I'm at, but anyways. And then you break up a box that way. And that can be cool. That can be fun, but then you need to make sure you get 6 people that are all bought in. You need to have the viewers and the followers to like get excited about that and to do it. So I saw a lot of people that are just like, hey guys, like we only have 2 out of 6 spots filled. Like, come on, guys. Just like it's kind of cringe, right? When you're listening to this live streamer trying to get this thing to happen, but there's not a ton of people that want to fork over $70 or even $30 or whatever, so it's just hard. The point being that I haven't seen a lot of live streaming methods work for Magic that really make money. People go crazy for Pokemon, whatever, but for Magic, it's just different. There's a buy singles culture in Magic. And so unless you're getting a good deal on singles, you're not going to get a ton of Magic players super interested. And guess what? If you're getting a good deal on singles, that means that the person selling the singles isn't making great money. Except this one time. And I've seen this more than once, but the first time I saw it, I log into the stream and it has, like 60 plus people in there. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's kind of popping or whatever. And what it was top loaded rares. And so the streamer would just like doom, 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 hit the table with like boom, like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 top loaded rares. These were all Final Fantasy. At the time, Final Fantasy was a relatively new set. And the bidding started at $1. And instantly people like, boom, $5, $10, $15 for these 10 bulk rares. And then the guy's like, all right, let's throw more on. Just boom, boom, boom. Like 15, 20, 25 rares. Numbers going up. People are bidding like 30, 35, $40. By the end of it, it's just like boom, 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 more and more of these bulk rares. These are not valuable cards. These are bulk rares, but they're in top loaders, so it makes them feel cooler, I guess. And by the end of this, people are like paying over $100 for, let's call it like 60 rares or whatever, rares, mythics that are all like bulk range, all worth less than $1 for sure. What was going on? And so in the chat, I saw somebody and they're like, this isn't, none of these cards are worth very much money. And somebody else replied and they're like, well, it's good value though. And the original person was like, yeah, you're right. It's good value. And it was like, what is going on? Why do people think this is good value? What is going on? 60 20-cent cards for $100 is not good value. Obviously. I feel like a character Napoleon Dynamite, just like stupid. It's crazy. But here, even the naysayer, the fudder, was like, corrected himself and was like, no, actually, this is a good deal. Getting all of these bulk rares and mythics. And part of it is maybe people don't know they're bulk rares and mythics. Maybe it's a new set that's come out and people are just thinking like, oh, I'm just getting great value from, opening, or, I'm basically getting a booster box. But little do they know they're not getting a booster box of rares. They're getting the leftover from the booster box of rares. It perplexes me to this day, but that brings me to now, which was today. Hosted a garage sale, went well. Part of the things I was selling were Magic cards. I opened up Commander decks. I had opened up Dragonstorm Commander decks, and I had opened up Lord of the Rings Commander decks, and I had bulk. And bulk in my mind is any card worth less than like 30 cents market price. And I had quite a bit of it, probably like 4,000 cards. I also had a kind of Magic playing event with some friends where we opened a bunch of boxes and they had bulk left over that I took. And so there's probably like 4,000 cards or whatever. We put them in these bags of like 250 cards each, maybe 300 cards each. I say my wife helped. Thank you for helping. Anyways, she doesn't watch these. So we have all these bags of like 300-ish cards. They're all bulk, but sometimes there's like rares, actually in a lot of them, there's a lot of rares and mythics. Like, have you seen the Commander decks? They're like 60% rares, mythics. But a lot of them are bulk. A lot of them don't do anything meaningful in Commander, or they're just not very good, or there's obviously a better version of that card out there. And nevertheless, we create these bags. We have like quite a few of these bags that have like 300 cards, or maybe less, maybe even like 200 cards. I'm not sure. And they're all in Ziplocs, helps the humidity control, whatever, living in Virginia. So we set them out. I also had a starter Commander deck, the flying one, the First Flight starter Commander deck. I didn't want to break that down for singles. I checked the market price on TCG Player. It was $16. So I sold it at this garage sale for $15. Somebody bought it happily, which is interesting, right? Like, this person impulse bought something basically for market price because they saw it at a yard sale, and it's like not that expensive. I mean, when you think of a sealed Commander deck, you think like, oh, that's like $40. Getting it for $15, that's probably a deal. But yeah, it's not a deal. That's the price. That's the market price for it. So anyways, I'm grateful. By the way, this sounds like I'm dissing on all the people who buy stuff from me. I love these people. I'm very grateful for them. Please keep buying, bulk cards and mediocre Commander decks from me. But it's just interesting, right? Because you would probably not do this. You would probably not see a starter Commander deck First Flight at a garage sale for $15 and buy it, because you're on TCG Player and just plugged into all of these knowledge bases of cards, and you're savvy with what's worth what. And you also probably have a decent collection where getting a starter commander deck wouldn't help grow your collection in a meaningful way, right? But here's these people out in the wild and they love it. They're like so excited to get a commander deck for $15, even though the commander deck isn't very good. So, but these bulk bags, these little bulk bags, the guy who bought the commander deck bought a few of them. I think we were selling each one for like $5. And I knew in my heart of hearts, like all those boxes of bulk, I would have sold all of that for $50 on Facebook Marketplace. Like no problem. So I had already sold 3 of these bags for like a total $15. So I was thinking like, okay, if somebody comes along and is like, how much for the lot? Because I thought there's a decent chance that would happen. If somebody came along and was like, how much for the lot? I wanted to say, $40, sell the whole thing for $50, whatever. Well, I actually had to go put up signs to try to advertise our yard sale, try to get more traffic. So I wasn't there, but my wife was there. And this guy came and asked how much for the bags. And my wife was like $5. And he was like, oh, $15 per bag. And my wife's like, no, $5 per bag. And he's like, oh, what? He got all excited. He then goes and he basically looked through like every card, which is a lot because there's like a lot of these bags. But he's just opening the bag up, going through the cards, putting the bag, closing it, opening the bag up. So I get back and he's rummaging through, and he knows that I'm the, for practical sakes, I'm the real owner, right? The cards. I'm the one who bought these cards originally. And this guy's going through and he asks me, he's like, hey, do you mean to have these sleeved cards in there? And I'm like, yep, those are meant to be in there. What the sleeved cards were they were leftovers. I did a commander deck league with my friends and we used the starter commander decks, and I got the Selesnya one. And so they were still in sleeves. It was just rares from that commander deck and just cards that I was playing from that commander deck. And he's like, whoa, you've got this 30-cent rare in here. Did you mean to put that in your bulk lot? And I'm like, yeah. Like I said, I'm grateful for this person who is so interested in my stuff, but it's so interesting, right? That there's a lot of people out there who see bulk rares, bulk whatever, and they're like, this is the bomb. This is so exciting. I cannot wait to build a deck out of this and to play it with my friends. Which I did learn from this guy that he does play kitchen table with a group of friends. And guess what? He bought every single bag from me. I didn't realize that he originally thought the bags were $15. I probably would have gave a larger number. I probably would have said $60. But when he asked how much for the whole lot, in my mind, I was like $40. And he was like, that's a steal. Absolutely. And he busted out Venmo and I got paid and he took the lot. And he was stoked out of his mind. He got the deal of his life in his head. For me, I feel kind of bad about it. I shouldn't, but I'm like, I know there's nothing good in there. What does that mean, right? I know there's nothing in there that I want in my personal collection to play with or to look at. For me, it just takes up space. So I feel a little bad selling it to somebody for $40, but this person was stoked, and this person is so excited to go through those cards and build decks and play and have a good time. And that's great. So it's a good transaction, both parties leave happy. It's a win-win-win, but I am perplexed. And that's the point. The point is that there are so many people out there who don't have the relationship with Magic that you and I have, right? And they're willing to spend serious money on bulk rares. And that's just interesting. It's an interesting kind of like untapped market. I don't know if this is just where I'm at in Virginia or if this is everywhere, but maybe try it out. And I'm thinking I'm going to try it out. I'm going to post bulk lots. I've got so many rares. I've got so many bulk rares, come buy 30 rares for 20. No, it just sounds crazy. Just, 30 rares for $20 just sounds ridiculous, but maybe, 30 rares for $10. These people would be like, whoa, that's such a great deal, Maybe, right? You got to mess around with it, try it out. But anyways, that's the subject for today. Hey, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, you should really consider subscribing. Thanks for being here. You are the best. Leave a comment below. Encourage me. Tell me I'm doing great. Or don't. Or tell me like, hey, these videos stink. You should talk about ABC. Or, you know, those could be two different comments. But anyways, love to hear from you guys. It's been a lot of fun to get to know you, to get emails from you. I need to reply to some emails. Goodness. All right. Goodbye.